Hi, welcome back. Today I am recording another podcast episode for my Getting Married Multiculturally podcast. I will be talking about engagement sessions. More specifically, what do couples need to do to prepare themselves for this photo shoot? You're listening to Getting Married Multiculturally podcast, episode number 12. So first, I want you to decide if you even want to have this photo shoot. When people are getting ready for their wedding, they're already so stressed, and sometimes they would feel they don't need another to-do list, another occupation. Think about it. Is this something that you would value? Because if it's not, then you absolutely don't have to do an engagement session. As a documentary photographer, I always encourage couples to try to think beyond of just taking portraits and make like a story or something that's meaningful in their life, in their relationship, that would give an actual value to their pictures. So if you're still listening to this episode, then you probably do want to have engagement pictures taken. It's a great way to get to know your wedding photographer, kind of what's their working style. If they're talking too much, they don't talk enough, if they're posing you too much, if you like their vibe and their personality. It's very important because it's going to reflect on your pictures of how you feel. Also, the photographer can learn your personality and see how the two of you interact, if you have some kind of language barriers. One of my favorite reasons to have engagement pictures taken is that it's a really good way to relive your memories with your partner. Some kind of special place where they like to visit often. After years or years of marriage, you're gonna kind of forget about that and the memories will fade out. And those pictures are going to be very, very special for you. If you don't have much of those places, because let's say you moved into a new country, or both of you moved into a new place, so you don't really have any memories of that location, then it's a good time to make new memories. Documenting that feeling and that memory of the beginning of your relationship would be very meaningful, because it's going to change after you get married. Your love is going to get deeper and more meaningful in a different way. You can look at those pictures and remember how you felt back then. Having these pictures taken, engagement pictures, will allow you to have a different type of professional pictures than what you're gonna be having from your wedding, because you have a different outfit, maybe more relaxed, casual clothing, not your wedding dress, maybe a different season of the year, different location. And the practical benefit of having these pictures is that now you have a ton of photos to use for your save the dates, invitations, a newspaper announcement if that's something you want to do, pictures on Instagram, on our Facebook wedding website, display some photos at the reception, play a slideshow, send these pictures to all of your friends and families who maybe they never had a chance to see your fiance because you guys live so far from your family and friends. That's a really good way for them to see how much you guys are in love. Let's talk about what do you need to know before the session. You should decide when do you want these pictures taken based on a season or something completely different from your wedding, and that way you can have a little bit variety of pictures. Also, what time of the day you want to have the pictures taken. Usually sunrise or sunset are the most beautiful because that's when the light looks really good. So the second thing, where do you want these pictures taken? Most couples would think of really popular, beautiful place that's in their town. Google or search for photo shoot locations and find the most popular ones. I'm not really a big fan of those places because it doesn't have too much meaning to you other than it's pretty. Also, they're very crowded all the time. At least here in Phoenix, that was my experience. I always like to challenge the couples and myself to to go and find a more unique, a little bit different location than where every couple goes. You should really find something that speaks to you as a person and the two of you as a couple together. Hiking on a mountain, museums, biking, beach. Would you just like to stay home and sit on a couch and watch some TV? And if you were in a long distance relationship for a long time, then maybe that's the thing that you did the most. My husband and I, we used to watch a ton of movies because that's all we could do together. So, I mean, why not? You can have an engagement session that's kind of like that because it brings you a lot of memory. But anyway, if you have some kind of meaningful story or location, then I would encourage you to try to have the photo shoot done there. Or maybe you have like some kind of cultural tradition, or you want to implement your traditions and culture into the photo shoot, so you can think about something like that, outfit or a specific location that's important for you. What about taking engagement sessions at the airport? I think that would be pretty cool because I'm sure you have lots of really sad and lots of really good memories at the airport. So why not? You can have photos taken there too. I think it would be pretty cool. But if you can't really come up with anything, you are, for example, in a new place together that you don't really have much connection at yet, you can always ask your photographer. They usually have pretty good suggestions for location. The third thing, and I kind of talked about this already, what do you want to be doing on the pictures? To do some kind of activity, or you just want to have more still photos or more documentary style photos? Maybe you can think of bringing some props or some items that's meaningful to you. I wouldn't recommend to bring too many things because then you just get overwhelmed and distracted. You can also look for some ideas online or Pinterest. Make like a Pinterest board. Don't overdo it. Us creatives, we like to have a creative freedom to be able to photograph something that's truly there and not something that it comes from another place. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I feel like I'm rambling again. So the fifth thing to think about is, do you have a specific cultural tradition, a ceremony or a ritual? And I know that lots of cultures do ceremonies and gatherings with their friends and family to celebrate the engagement. So maybe you can also book your engagement session for that same day, and then you just make a fun celebration out of it. So you have the photo shoot first, and then you go into this party where you have your friends and family and celebrate together. You can also have your photographer come to that event and maybe take some pictures with everybody else. If your culture has some kind of expectation or norms, you can't or you don't want to kiss in front of the camera, don't forget to tell that to your photographer too. Number 6 is kind of important because it's about getting yourself ready mentally and emotionally. Try not to have a fight or argument before the session. Think of ways to get into this bubbly loving zone. Maybe you already are in that zone 24/7 and it's not going to be hard for you at all. But lots of couples have been together for years before they get married, and by then that initial spark, that pink cloud has worn out and your love evolved into a deeper relationship. Maybe the two of you can have coffee together in the morning, have like a good conversation or cuddle together on a couch, go for a walk together. Or lots of times people would go on a date after the photo shoot. Couples usually do these pictures to show their love, to get close together. You're not gonna be surprised like, whoa, I need to hug and kiss this person. I'm sure that you already know that it's not going to be a surprise unless it's culturally not accepted for you to get too close to each other. But even then, showing love towards each other is the whole reason and meaning for this session. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And I promise I only have 3 more left. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. Try to meet or have a FaceTime with the photographer that you have chosen, because it's important for you to feel comfortable with that person if you guys have never met before. And I also suggest you to choose the same photographer for your wedding as well. That way you can ask them some questions that you have. Number 8 is plan on look details. What outfits are you gonna wear? Try to coordinate them, not get them too matchy, but some kind of outfit that would complement each other. Maybe think about different outfits changes based on the location you're going to. That would be probably the most important part when it comes to planning the engagement session, to actually get stuff ready for it, iron everything, wash everything, schedule a makeup and hair trial for your wedding the day of the photo shoot. All right guys, so the last one is, what do you actually want to do with all of these pictures that you're gonna have after? Album, wall prints in your house, put them on save the dates or invitations, program books. So try to think ahead of time of what outfits and locations you're gonna have. If you want to incorporate or use that photo for, let's say, your beach invitation, then maybe you can have a beach photo shoot so they kind of match up with your invitation that you want to use that picture for. Maybe you want to have some pictures for your parents or your grandma. Usually they like the more traditional pictures, like the posed ones that both of you are looking in the camera. Facebook profile page. If you want to maybe print out some crazy stickers of your pictures. It's really good to think about all of this before you get into this session. Oh, and lastly, besides taking photos for your engagement, you can also get a little bit ahead of yourself and have a photo shoot of your actual proposal. And after that, maybe you can flow that session into having an engagement photo shoot, and that way you're just gonna have both of those things done in one day. So guys, that was my list to get ready and things that you need to know before you do your engagement session. I hope I didn't scare you away and you're like, nope, no way, I'm not dealing with all of this. Just let me know in a comment. Okay, so those of you who feel a little bit overwhelmed, feel like they want to write all of this down, I made a checklist that I put on a website for you to download. It is going to be on editvashadi.com/12, and I also added like a photo scheduling plan so you don't forget to document some of the important stages of your relationship, of your engagement, some of the events that would be good to document, even if you just, not professionally, but even if you just do it with your phone. And that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good weekend, and I will talk to you next week. Bye, everybody.